Okay, I am so excited. I got it just came in right now today at 9:37 a.m. I won't say who it is, but it's a older, probably, I don't know, early 20s, maybe. Don't know the exact age. But anyway, it's a female, and it says, are you ready, Richard? This is going out to you. It
I'm
says,
ready.
good morning. I have a few symptoms. I have had like a runny nose, stuffy nose, all of the regular allergies, but just triple time as bad as they normally add. And she's at work right now because of how she's feeling. They're making her take a COVID test. So she's all freaked out about that. But seems to be seasonal from having a conversation with her earlier this week. So what do you say?
Okay, well, I'll get the technical part of this over with first, and then I'll give you some solutions. So, the way it works with allergy-related symptoms is they're caused by histamine. So, in order to figure out how to treat this, you sort of have to go backwards. You have to retrace. Okay, so some substance that's in your environment is causing you to react in a specific way. It's causing your body to create excess histamine, and that's why you're experiencing a reaction. So what does histamine come from? So histamine comes from cells in our body. They're called mast cells, and they get activated. Now, mast cell activation corresponds with something that's kind of weird. It's called substance P. Sounds like some sort of government chemical that you would see in a lab. But all of these different things tie together. So in order to treat an allergy symptom, you have to look at, okay, what creates substance P by itself? What causes mast cells to activate by itself? And then what causes histamine to produce? And then you sort of cross correlate all of them and then come up with, okay, here's a plan that can lower all of these things, bring it down, stop the mast cells from activating, and drop histamine. So the easiest thing that I tell people to do, and I've said this in previous radio shows, is to eat 3 apples a day. That's a pound of apples. That sounds very excessive, but the apple a day keeps the doctor away is not enough. 3 apples a day will keep the doctor away. Apples contain something called quercetin, and quercetin will lower histamine dramatically. The other way to do it is you can get the capsules, the supplements of quercetin. But again, with most supplements, they're not absorbed by the body as effectively as if you get it from a natural food source. So that's the biggest thing. Another thing is bromelain. Bromelain is an enzyme that's derived from pineapples. Believe it or not, incorporating enzymes with your meal will actually lower histamine. As well as that, there are a few other things you can do, and I strongly suggest focusing on your environment and really trying to notice, do you react when you go into a certain room? Do you react when you're washing your clothes? Do you react when you're in the bathroom and maybe you're spraying stuff on your hair or your face or whatever? What in your environment could you be reacting to? So paying attention to the foods that we eat is also really critical. So I would strongly suggest keeping a diary, and I've mentioned this before. This is what I eat today, this is what I'm exposed to in my environment today, and these are the symptoms I'm having. And then usually it doesn't take very long. It takes about a week before you start to see a connection. And then you can trace it back. So elimination is a really important thing, testing different things, figuring out what's good and what's not good for you. But the ultimate remedy here is going to be 3 apples a day.
They have to be raw, or can you steam them?
It's better if they're raw, but you could cook them. I
With
don't
a little
generally think
sugar,
about
put it
cooking
in a
apples,
crust.
but
You put a little sugar, put it in a crust.
Exactly. I was going to say, thank goodness we've got apple pie season coming up.
yeah, you could pieify it if you wanted to, but I would suggest eating them raw. If you eat them raw, most apples, especially if you get them organic, they have a light coating of yeast on the outside. It's called bloom. And when we actually eat that yeast over time, it helps our body to build up an immune system to allergies from the environment.
All right. If anybody else wants to contact you, Richard, real quick.
Okay, so you can contact me via email at mountainsagehealingarts@gmail.com. And then you can also go to my website and go to the contact tab. You can submit your own question to me, and that's mountainsagehealingarts.com/contact.
Nice. Christine, you want to say something?
I did. I wanted to say, because you were talking about whole foods and eating good foods, there's some two great lists you can get on the internet called the Clean 13 and the Dirty Dozen. And basically these are pesticides. Some of the foods that are really filled with pesticides you don't necessarily want to eat. You want to avoid those and get organic, but some foods you can eat that aren't that pesticided. So, because pesticides will add to allergies too. It's been my experience. So check out those lists and see, you know, what things you should be looking for. I mean, yes, organic if you can, but some things are okay. Yeah.
Dominique.
I just really appreciate that it's the old grandmother's wisdom that most frequently helps us be healthy.
Definitely. Slow, we got to go to break.
Oh, before break. So, question, on allergies, you know, homeopathy. So, for example, I have this Chinese elm in the backyard. Every summer, sorry about my throat, I'm recovering from my own stuff last week. But every summer it drops these seeds that would put me in these fits of sneezing and eyes and all that. So I think it was my acupuncturist said, look, put those little seeds in water and start drinking that water. And I'm so, you know, in a combination of things, just exposure, but I don't suffer the way I used to anymore. What's happened? Have I developed tolerance now to the tree?
Richard.
Essentially, yeah. So what you're doing is you're acclimating your system over time, and it is almost exactly like a homeopathic treatment. It works in the exact same way. You're acclimating yourself to what it is that you're having an issue with. And when I do allergy elimination with people, what we do is we'll give them a substance that they're reacting to. We'll have them hold it or drink it or whatever, so it's energetically in their system. And then we'll go up and down the back pounding like this, and we'll balance out the meridians. So all of a sudden your energy comes back into balance while you're holding this thing. Then you stay away from it for 24 hours, and then you start to slowly introduce it, and then you're perfectly fine. So it's going along that same philosophy.
Nice. Wow. That was you sitting there pounding on somebody? I love that.
It's like a nice little shiatsu.
Oh, nice little. Oh, okay. Whack. Okay. Spank that bag of rice. All right. So let's take a break. This is Erica Salda, the Cleaner Team. We've got a lot more after these messages.